19 Questions for Muslim Scholars Part 4. Question number 2. Do these verses require us to follow a mishmash of narrations? Distorting the meaning of the Quranic verses, taking them out of context, claiming that some verses abrogate others are some of the tactics used by the followers of hadith and sunnah. Monarchistic theocratical kingdoms use the ulama to divert Muslim masses. The fabricated satanic teachings have transformed the religion of God into a mishmash liturgy and ritual torture. Here, God willing, we will expose their true colors by evaluating some verses most often abused by them.
To challenge the gods within earshot of the gods is dangerous.
Unreasonable.
Rebellious. Blasphemous.
Yes. I'm afraid Muhammad will harm himself.
A good example has been set for you by the Messenger of God, 33:21. The falsifiers have presented medieval Arab culture and traditions as good examples of the Messenger. However, if you look at the context, the good example has been described as the Messenger's courage and his constant remembrance of God. They extended this good example to irrelevant individual or cultural behaviors. For instance, they sanctified the beard and turban, ignoring the fact that the Meccan idol worshippers, such as Abu Lahab and Walid bin Mughira, also had long beards and wore turbans. What is worse, the actions and words ascribed to Prophet Muhammad have depicted him with a character that is far from exemplary. The hadith books portrays the Prophet as a phantasmagoric character with a multiple personality. That character is more fictitious than mythological gods and goddesses, such as Hermes, Pan, Poseidon and Aphrodite. He is a pendulous character, both bouncing up to deity, and down to the lowest degree. He is both wise and moron. He is sometimes more merciful than God and sometimes a cruel torturer. He is both perfect and criminal, humble and arrogant, chaste and sex maniac, trustworthy and cheater, illiterate and educator, rich and poor, a nepotist and a democratic leader, caring and a male chauvinist, a believer and a disbeliever, prohibiting hadith and promoting hadith. You can find numerous conflicting personalities presented as an exemplary figure. Choose whichever you like. This peculiar aspect of hadith collection is well described by the prophetic verses of the Quran. Shall we treat the Muslims, submitters, like the criminals? What is wrong with your judgment? Do you have a book where you can find anything you wish? 68:35-38. Furthermore, a similar statement is made about Abraham. A good example has been set for you by Abraham and those with him. 64:6. If verse 33:21 requires Muhammad's hadith, then why would not the verses 64:6 require Abraham's hadith? Which books narrate hadiths from Abraham? Obviously, the only reliable source for both examples is the Book of God, which narrates the relevant exemplary actions. It also warns us not to repeat the mistakes committed by Muhammad. 33:37-80-110. Obey God and His Messenger. 4:59. Obeying Bukhari, a narrator of lies, is not obeying the Messenger. Obeying the Messenger is obeying the complete, perfect and fully detailed Quran. Verse 25:73 describes the attitude of believers towards God's revelations. But the followers of Hadith and Sunnah are very good in ignoring them. They do not see 6:19, 7, 3, and 50:45, which say that the only teaching delivered by God's messenger was the Quran. They do not think that Muhammad practiced the Quran, and the Quran alone. 5:48-49. They do not hear Muhammad's only complaint about his people. 25:30. They do not understand that Muhammad disowns those who do not understand that the Quran is enough and fully detailed. 6:114. The first verse of chapter 9 states that an ultimatum is issued from God in his messenger. We know that the verses about the ultimatum are entirely from God. God did not consult Muhammad about the ultimatum. Muhammad's only mission was to deliver God's message. 16:35, 24:54. Thus, the reason that God included the messenger in 9:1 is because he participated as deliverer of the ultimatum. Similarly, because people receive God's message through messengers, we are ordered to obey the messengers. We also know that the Quran is a permanent messenger. 65:11, and the Quran is a reminder and deliverer of good news. 41:4-11:2. Nor is he speaking out of personal desire. It is a divine inspiration. 53:3-4. Meccan idol worshippers claim that Muhammad was the author of the Quran. 25:5, 68:15. The beginning of chapter 53 is about the revelation of the Quran. It states that the Quran is from him. It is not Muhammad's personal claim, it is a divine statement. Therefore, claiming that the pronoun it in the verse 53:4 refers to the words of Muhammad, not of God, is an obvious distortion. According to the above verse, it is revelation, without exception. This can be valid only for the Quran. It is nonsense to claim that Muhammad's daily conversation was entirely revelation. For example, God firmly criticizes Muhammad's words to Zayd. 33:37. Obviously, the criticism was not about revelation. The beginning phrase of chapter 97 informs us about the revelation of the Quran. We revealed it in the night of destiny. The it in this verse is the same as the it in 53:4. And we sent down to you this message, to proclaim, litubayyana, for the people everything that is sent down to them, perhaps they will reflect. 16:44. People who establish hadith and sunnah as another source of religious teachings besides the Quran, opted the irrelevant meaning of the Arabic word, byn. The word, litubayyana, is a derivative of byn, which is a multiple meaning word. It means, 1. To reveal what is concealed. 2. To explain what is vague. The first meaning is the antonym of hide, the second is the antonym of make vague. God orders Muhammad to proclaim the revelation, which is revealed to him personally. Indeed, this is the whole mission of the messengers. 16:35. Prophets sometimes experience difficulty in proclaiming the revelation. 33:37, 20, 25. If the Quran is a profound Arabic book, if it is explained by God, and if it is simple to understand. 5:15, 26, 195, 11, 1, 54, 17, 55, 1-2, then the Prophet does not have an extra mission to explain it. Furthermore, the verse 75:19 does not leave any room for an extra human explanation. Thus, the word litubayyana of 16:44 is similar to the one in 3:187. Verse 3:187 tells us that the people who receive the revelation should proclaim the scripture to the people, and never conceal it.
أَلَمْ نَجْعَل لَّهُ عَيْنَيْنِ وَلِسَانًا وَشَفَتَيْنِ وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ فَلَا اقْتَحَمَ